Trend lines are sometimes just a funny thing, you know. So, market closed with the SPY 279.08 today. We had that dip down with the Guild news, settled for a little bit, bounced, and then sold off again. Continued to sell off a little bit here after market. So, reason I put this up now is it's just funny. So, what are you going to look like after market? What's going to happen after market? Well, overnight last night, we kind of ground up a little bit. Not sure what the Guild news, and as people look at it, and then as news reports come out, and I mean, it looks like oil's doing okay right now. We'll wait to see what happens when Asia opens at 8 o'clock. But just looking forward now, just as we're watching, as our stocks are still trading here, as it's just shortly after 5 o'clock. It's just we are continuing this downtrend, which I'm actually somewhat surprised about. We are now pretty well separated from some of these other moving averages, and I just kind of thought we would, as we closed, that we would pick up one of these other trend lines. This was the pre-market channel, and I thought we might pick up this trend line here as we closed, and maybe started to grind up, because we've seen that type of thing recently, and so we haven't done that. We did bounce back, so it's funny. We had this other, so these two kind of matching descending channels, and we did go right below this trend line as if it didn't really mean anything. Did bounce back a bit, met up with one of the moving averages here. I forget which one that one is, the purple, and then came right back down, and we're riding this somewhat steep descending channel. So it'll be interesting to see if we kind of maintain this momentum. So as right now we're already down after the market about a point on the SPY, and this trend line represents a descension of what, 298.92 at about 4 o'clock. So at here, where's the line actually? It's 278.73 at 4 o'clock, and now this line is down at 278, almost 278 even. So let's just call it 75 cents in almost 2 hours. Okay, so it's almost 6 o'clock. So let's just say it'll be like 80 cents by 2 hours. So if we went to 8 o'clock, another 2 hours, another 80 cents, put us down to 277 and about 50 cents, so maybe 277.70, 277.50. Well, on the way there, we're going to meet this ascending trend line. So right now it's sitting at 277.75. That ascending trend line will obviously move up just a little bit, and this will kind of be a tell. So I'll try to maybe look at it and put something up later, because if we bust through this trend line and continue down to 277.5 by 8 o'clock when Asia opens, we could just keep on this descending channel all night and have somewhat of a significant gap down by the morning. So and probably where the rubber meets the road, probably right here, somewhere in this channel right here. You got these trend lines that are kind of going to meet. So sometimes as I put these things up, stuff reverses right away. We'll see. Tomorrow being Friday, typically it's a light volume day, and if we gap down, obviously we're going to see some selling pressure. What we had today was a couple of liquidation breaks. So that's kind of what you had. This maybe was panic selling, maybe was a liquidation break, but you recovered quickly once that Guild news came out. Once again, probably another liquidation break right here, and because you quickly recovered. This one was a little bit more choppy, and this whole thing could have just been a big liquidation break. But the difference being is that a liquidation break is something that you're going to bounce back from. and usually somewhat quickly, where as kind of a more just overall sentiment of selling is something that, well, now is what you're seeing kind of start to continue, because you're having your high of the day here, and as you look down where we are now, and this is a 5-minute chart. If I forgot to point that out earlier, I'm really sorry. What you have down here is a continuation. So that's what you look for. If the sell sentiment is going to continue, is going to be the continuation. So from a so what I have here is several channels from the high. Are we going to come up and meet this trend line? Are we going to come up and meet this other trend line? So this channel is going to be a little bit bigger. These are all parallel, so they shouldn't close. So, are we going to go up and meet those trend lines as we hit this? I certainly expect the continuation to go on here on this descending trend line. Although maybe we'll see. Maybe we met this right here and are going to flatten out. And then we'll eventually meet one of these other, parallel descending trend lines, which is actually right along where the moving averages are going. So we'll actually have an opportunity, most likely, to see all these things come together before 8 p.m. And will give us a pretty, significant story of what's going to go on. And as I point out, I mean, the continuation of type trends here in this market has just been so hard to predict, and hopefully sometime in the future we'll return to something more normal. But obviously, if you look at all these moving averages, everything is kind of pointing in the right direction, or in the same direction, corresponding to many of these of trend lines that I've had going here for several weeks. So we'll see. We are it's interesting, are flattening out, a little bit of a double bottom here on the 5-minute chart, but after market, these kind of moves aren't as significant as happening as during normal trading. But certainly, if a down gap, if you wake up tomorrow and there's a down gap, then things do kind of snowball. So we will see. Good luck.